Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, remains one of the most beloved classic Western TV series, remembered for its charm, humor, and unforgettable characters. More than 50 years have passed, and about what happened to the stars who brought Hannibal Highs, Kid Curry, and so many others to life? Some went on to become Hollywood legends, others quietly stepped away, and a few are still with us today. Join us as we explore the fascinating journey of the Alias Smith and Jones cast, then and now, from their iconic roles on the dusty frontier to the real-life stories that shaped their legacies. Ben Murphy portrayed Jed Kid Curry in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 29 years old, embodying a quick-witted, loyal, and sharp-shooting outlaw seeking redemption. Kid Curry, along with Hannibal Highs, is offered amnesty on the condition that they stay out of trouble, creating a central tension between their past as wanted men and their hopes for a new life. Unlike the more calculating Highs, Curry is impulsive and fiery but deeply principled, showing unwavering loyalty to his partner and a quiet yearning for stability. His skills with a gun and his readiness to protect the innocent often push him into dangerous situations, yet his strong moral compass distinguishes him from the criminals he and Highs once rode with. Across the series, Curry's internal conflict between violence and virtue makes him both a protector and a reluctant hero, and his presence gives the show its emotional weight. Outside the role, Ben Murphy built a career in television throughout the 1970s and 1980s, appearing in series such as Gemini Man, 1976, The Love Boat, and Murder, She Wrote. Though never reaching superstar status, he became a familiar and dependable face on American TV, often cast in roles that combined charm with resilience. Murphy never married, and has largely kept his private life away from the spotlight, choosing a quiet lifestyle after his peak television years. As of 2025, Ben Murphy is 83 years old. Roger Davis served as the narrator of Alias Smith and Jones in 1971 when he was 32 years old, lending his distinctive voice to frame the adventures of Hannibal Highs and Kid Curry. His narration provided context for viewers, often reminding them of the hero's conditional amnesty and the risk they faced if caught returning to crime. Though not appearing directly as a regular character in the series at first, his presence was vital in establishing the mood, bridging episodes and reinforcing the themes of redemption and moral conflict. Later in the show's run, Davis also stepped in as Hannibal Highs, following Pete Duel's untimely death, giving him a unique dual association with the series. Outside Alias Smith and Jones, Roger Davis built a long career in television, with notable roles in Dark Shadows, The Gallant Men, and numerous guest appearances across popular shows of the 1960s and 1970s. Beyond acting, he later pursued business ventures including real estate, demonstrating a versatility that extended beyond Hollywood. In his personal life, Davis was married to actress Jacqueline Smith from 1968 to 1975, though the marriage ended in divorce. He remained active in various creative and business endeavors over the decades, remembered both for his distinct narration and his resilience in the entertainment industry. As of 2025, Roger Davis is 86 years old. Pete Duel portrayed Hannibal Highs in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 31 years old, bringing a clever, charismatic, and calculating edge to the role. Highs, the brains of the duo alongside Kid Curry, was portrayed as charming, strategic, and often the voice of reason in their attempts to stay out of trouble while seeking a fresh start. Duel gave the character a layered humanity, blending humor with sincerity, making Highs both a lovable rogue and a man struggling with his past. His quick thinking and leadership were essential in navigating the pair's narrow escapes and shaping the heart of the show. Tragically, Pete Duel's time in the series was cut short when he died on December 31st, 1971, at the age of 31, from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. His sudden passing shocked fans and castmates alike, and his death became one of the most heartbreaking moments in television history, leading to Roger Davis taking over the role. Beyond Alias Smith and Jones, Duel had starred in Love on a Rooftop, 1966-67, appeared in Gidget, and made guest appearances in shows such as The Virginian and The Fugitive. Known for his talent and rising career, he was considered one of the most promising actors of his generation. Though his life ended too soon, Pete Duel's performance as Hannibal Hayes remains a lasting testament to his charm, depth, and artistry. Burl Ives appeared as Big Mac McCready in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 62 years old, portraying a larger-than-life outlaw with charisma and authority. Big Mac was a powerful rancher and schemer whose dealings often put him at odds with Hayes and Curry, though he occasionally aligned with them when interests overlapped. Ives infused the role with a mix of menace and charm, making Big Mac both intimidating and oddly likable, a character who represented the lingering pull of the outlaw world. His episodes stood out for their humor and clever negotiations, offering the heroes moral dilemmas in their quest for amnesty. Beyond the show, Burl Ives was a towering figure in American entertainment. An Academy Award-winning actor for The Big Country, 1958, a folk singer known worldwide, and a recording artist with hits like A Little Bitty Tear. He also gained enduring fame as the voice of Sam the Snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1964. Married twice, he had one son, Alexander. Ives passed away on April 14, 1995, at the age of 85, from oral cancer, leaving behind an extraordinary career that bridged music, film, and television. J.D. Cannon portrayed Harry Briscoe in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 49 years old, giving life to one of the show's most intriguing recurring figures. Briscoe, an agent of the Bannerman Detective Agency, was tasked with pursuing outlaws like Hayes and Curry, yet he was not without a certain sympathy for them. Cannon played him with a mixture of officiousness and humor, making Briscoe both a foil and, at times, an unlikely ally. His sharp mind and moral ambiguity added richness to the dynamic between lawmen and outlaws, keeping the heroes constantly on their toes. Beyond the series, Cannon enjoyed a long and respected acting career, most notably as Chief Clifford on the hit police drama McCloud, 1970 to 1977. He also made appearances in Lawmen, The Untouchables, and numerous stage productions, establishing himself as a versatile performer. A graduate of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, Cannon had a reputation for discipline and professionalism. While private about his personal life, he was married to Alice Cannon, and they had one daughter. J.D. Cannon passed away on May 20th, 2005, at the age of 83 from natural causes, remembered as a dependable character actor whose work brought depth to television's golden era. Ford Rainey appeared as Collins in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 63 years old, lending his seasoned presence to the Western landscape. Collins was a character that embodied authority and the older generation of frontier figures, often cast in the role of townsmen or officials who represented order in a world of drifting outlaws. Rainey's dignified bearing and calm authority made Collins a believable presence, reinforcing the challenges Hayes and Curry faced in carving out honest lives. Outside the show, Ford Rainey had a prolific career spanning decades, appearing in countless television series including Bonanza, Gunsmoke, The Invaders, and later The Bionic Woman, and Matt Houston. He also acted in films such as Two Rode Together, 1961, and The Parallax View, 1974, becoming one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors. Rainey balanced his acting career with a private life in California, where he raised a family and pursued interests outside of film. Known for his professionalism and quiet strength, he worked steadily well into his later years. Ford Rainey died on July 25, 2005, at the age of 96, from complications following a stroke, leaving behind a long legacy as a stalwart of American television and film. Dennis Fimple played Kyle in Alias Smith and Jones in 1971 when he was 31 years old, bringing humor and rustic charm to the supporting role. Kyle was often portrayed as a rugged, small-time outlaw whose unpredictable behavior created both tension and comic relief. While not central to the story like Hayes and Curry, Kyle embodied the world of drifting gunmen and opportunists, serving as a reminder of the criminal life the heroes were trying to leave behind. His rough edges, wily instincts, and occasional moments of loyalty made him memorable to audiences. Outside the series, Fimple became a prolific character actor, appearing in popular shows like Here Come the Brides, Maverick, and later in films including Maverick, 1994, and Rob Zombie's cult horror hit House of 1,000 Corpses, 2003. Known for his distinctive face and knack for playing quirky or backwoods characters, he carved out a steady Hollywood career across television and film. Fimple married in his youth and had one son, Chris, who later became an actor and stuntman. Sadly, Dennis Fimple died on August 23, 2002, at the age of 61, following complications from a car accident, leaving behind a legacy of memorable supporting roles. Mills Watson portrayed Blake in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 31 years old, delivering a performance full of energy and grit. Blake was a supporting character in the Western world the show depicted, often representing the rough-edged men who crossed paths with Haig and Curry. Watson gave Blake a memorable presence, combining toughness with flashes of humor, ensuring that even smaller roles contributed to the texture of the series. Beyond this appearance, Mills Watson carved out a distinctive television career in the 1970s and 1980s. He became best known as Deputy Pickens in the comedy series B.J. and the Bear and its spin-off, The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo. He also appeared in Ships, M.A.S.H., and films like Papillon, 1973. With his expressive face and comedic timing, Watson specialized in offbeat, quirky characters that stood out to audiences. In later years, he chose a quieter life, retiring from acting to live in Oregon. He was married twice and later settled into a rural lifestyle away from Hollywood. As of 2025, Mills Watson is 85 years old. John Lormer played the second desk clerk in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 65 years old, bringing his familiar character actor presence to a small but memorable role. The desk clerk, like many of Lormer's television characters, was the kind of everyday figure who anchored the story's setting. In this case, representing the ordinary townsfolk swept up in the world of outlaws and lawmen. Though a brief appearance, it fit perfectly into Lormer's long career of supporting performances that lent credibility to countless shows. Known as one of television's most prolific guest stars, Lormer appeared in Star Trek in 3 different roles: Perry Mason, The Twilight Zone, and Gunsmoke. His versatility allowed him to play kindly doctors, stern judges, or nervous townsmen with equal believability. Lormer largely kept his personal life private, focusing on his work and longevity in Hollywood. He died on March 19, 1986 at the age of 79, from natural causes, remembered fondly as a dependable actor who enriched classic television with authenticity. John Russell portrayed Sheriff Lom Travers in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 50 years old, embodying the stern but fair lawman who stood between the outlaws and their bid for redemption. Sheriff Travers was one of the few officials sympathetic to Haig and Curry's plight, often serving as a reluctant ally who helped them in their pursuit of amnesty. Russell brought authority, gravitas, and moral clarity to the role, making Travers a vital figure in the show's moral landscape. Beyond the series, John Russell enjoyed a long career in film and television, especially in westerns. He starred in the TV series Lawmen, 1958-62, as Marshal Dan Troop, and appeared in films such as Rio Bravo, 1959, and Clint Eastwood's Pale Rider, 1985. Known for his commanding presence and rugged good looks, he became a staple of the Western genre. Off-screen, Russell was married twice and had 3 children. He passed away on January 19, 1991 at the age of 70 from emphysema, leaving behind a legacy as one of television's quintessential lawmen. Slim Pickens appeared as Mike in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 52 years old, bringing his trademark mix of humor and rugged cowboy authenticity to the role. Mike was a colorful supporting figure in the series, embodying the eccentric, rough-around-the-edges characters who populated the frontier towns visited by Haig and Curry. With his distinctive voice, lanky frame, and natural comedic presence, Pickens made Mike both entertaining and believable, adding flavor to the Western setting. Beyond this role, Slim Pickens was a beloved character actor with a career that spanned rodeo, film, and television. He became famous for his comedic cowboy roles, most memorably in Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove, 1964, where he rode a nuclear bomb to its apocalyptic end, and in Mel Brooks' Blazing Saddles, 1974. Pickens also appeared in dozens of westerns, often as a sidekick or comic foil, showcasing his rodeo background and easy charm. Married to Margaret Harmon from 1950 until his death, he had 3 children. Slim Pickens died on December 8, 1983, at the age of 64, from complications of a brain tumor, remembered as one of Hollywood's most beloved Western personalities. Keenan Wynn appeared as Artie Gorman in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 55 years old, playing a brash and flamboyant figure whose personality often dominated the screen. Artie Gorman was a lively supporting character, embodying the unpredictability of the frontier and challenging Haig and Curry with his larger-than-life presence. With his gravelly voice and quick wit, Wynn brought both menace and humor, making Gorman a vivid addition to the series' colorful cast of outlaws and schemers. Outside the show, Keenan Wynn had a long and prolific career in Hollywood, appearing in more than 200 films and countless television roles. He is remembered for Dr. Strangelove, 1964, Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968, Herbie Rides Again, 1974, and numerous Disney productions. Known for his versatility, he could shift effortlessly between comedy, drama, and villainy. Born into a family of entertainers, he was the son of vaudeville and film comedian Ed Wynn, and carried on the legacy with distinction. Married 3 times, he had 5 children, including actor and writer Ned Wynn. Keenan Wynn passed away on October 14, 1986, at the age of 70 from pancreatic cancer, leaving behind a vast body of work that continues to be celebrated. Bill McKinney played Lobo in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 40 years old, giving life to a tough, menacing outlaw whose presence highlighted the darker side of frontier life. Lobo was a character steeped in violence and cunning, a stark contrast to the more noble Haig and Curry, and his appearances often placed the heroes in jeopardy. McKinney's intense screen presence made Lobo a believable and dangerous foe, underscoring the constant threat the protagonists faced in their struggle for redemption. Beyond the series, Bill McKinney built a reputation as one of Hollywood's most memorable tough guy character actors. He achieved lasting notoriety for his chilling role as the Mountain Man in Deliverance, 1972, and went on to appear in numerous Clint Eastwood films, including The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, The Gauntlet, 1977, and Sudden Impact, 1983. Off-screen, McKinney was known as a gentle, thoughtful man who pursued interests in music and songwriting. Married several times, he had 1 son. He died on December 1, 2011, at the age of 80, from esophageal cancer, leaving a career defined by unforgettable villains and rugged Western grit. Cesar Romero portrayed Armendariz in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 64 years old, playing a suave and sophisticated figure whose elegance stood in stark contrast to the rough Western setting. Armendariz embodied charm and cunning, a worldly character whose presence complicated Haig and Curry's adventures. Romero's natural charisma and commanding style made Armendariz both likable and dangerous, a reminder that not all threats in the West came from brute force. Outside the series, Cesar Romero enjoyed one of Hollywood's longest and most varied careers. He became iconic as the flamboyant Joker in the 1960s Batman television series, but his work spanned decades, including roles in Ocean's 11, 1960, The Thin Man, 1936, and numerous musicals and adventure films. Nicknamed the Latin Lover, Romero was also known for his impeccable dancing and screen presence. He never married and guarded his private life carefully, though he remained a fixture of Hollywood society for decades. Romero passed away on January 1st, 1994 at the age of 86, from complications related to bronchitis and pneumonia, leaving behind an enduring reputation as one of the most versatile and charismatic actors of his generation. Walter Brennan appeared as Silky O'Sullivan in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 77 years old, portraying a sly and seasoned old-timer whose cunning often made him as dangerous as the younger outlaws. Silky O'Sullivan was a master manipulator, using his age and wits to survive in a rough world, and Brennan's performance gave the character warmth laced with sharp edges. His role highlighted the show's theme of shifting loyalties and moral ambiguity, making Silky both entertaining and threatening. Beyond this part, Walter Brennan was one of Hollywood's most celebrated character actors, winning 3 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor. For Come and Get It, 1936, Kentucky, 1938, and The Westerner, 1940. He appeared in classics such as Sergeant York, 1941, Red River, 1948, and Rio Bravo, 1959, often playing crusty sidekicks, cantankerous old men, or wise mentors. Married to Ruth Wells from 1920 until his death, they had 3 children. Brennan passed away on September 21st, 1974, at the age of 80, from emphysema, cementing his legacy as one of America's greatest character actors. Robert Donner appeared as Charlie Taylor in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 40 years old, delivering a performance that balanced humor with menace. Charlie Taylor was a recurring type of character Donner excelled at. The crafty outlaw or eccentric townsman whose unpredictability created complications for the heroes. With his distinctive look and timing, Donner made Charlie a colorful part of the Western landscape, both entertaining and believable. Outside the series, Robert Donner became a prolific television and film actor, recognized for his comedic work as Exodore in Mork and Mindy, 1978-82, and appearances in shows like Bonanza, The Waltons, Columbo, and Gunsmoke. He also appeared in films such as Cool Hand Luke, 1967, and High Plains Drifter, 1973. Known for his versatility and unique screen presence, he could shift easily between comedy and drama. In his personal life, Donner was married to actress Jill Sherman until his death. Robert Donner passed away on June 8, 2006, at the age of 75, from a heart attack. Remembered as one of television's most reliable and quirky character actors, Michelle Lee portrayed Georgette Sinclair in Alias Smith and Jones, 1972, when she was 30 years old, bringing wit, charm, and elegance to the role. Georgette Sinclair was a refined, clever woman whose intelligence often matched or outmaneuvered the outlaws she encountered. Unlike many stock female characters in Westerns, she was independent and self-assured, adding depth and sophistication to the episode's storyline. Michelle Lee infused the role with warmth and subtle humor, making Georgette memorable as more than just a romantic distraction, but rather a woman who could stand toe-to-toe with Heiss and Curry. Outside the show, Michelle Lee became a major television star, best known for her long-running role as Karen Mackenzie in Knots Landing, 1979 to 1993, for which she earned multiple Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. She also enjoyed success on Broadway, starring in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, 1961, and its 1967 film adaptation. Off-screen, she married actor James Farentino in 1966, divorcing in 1983, and together they had one son, David. As of 2025, Michelle Lee is 83 years old. Jackie Coogan appeared as Crawford in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 57 years old, portraying a frontier figure who blended weariness with calculation. Crawford was the kind of supporting character who tested Heiss and Curry's ability to outthink and outmaneuver townsfolk and opportunists. Coogan infused the role with a gruff sharpness, lending authenticity to a man who had clearly lived long enough to understand the dangers of outlaw life. Even in a smaller role, he added dramatic weight, reminding viewers that not everyone in the West was trustworthy or simple. Outside the show, Coogan was already a Hollywood legend. He had risen to fame at the age of 7 as the unforgettable child in Charlie Chaplin's silent classic, The Kid, 1921, becoming one of cinema's first major child stars. However, his earnings were squandered by his parents, leading to the landmark Coogan Act, which required that child actors' wages be protected. As an adult, he transitioned into character roles, working steadily in television and film, with his most enduring later success as the eccentric Uncle Fester in The Addams Family, 1964 to 1966. Married 4 times, he fathered 4 children, including actor Jackie Coogan Jr. His life reflected both the highs and lows of Hollywood history. Jackie Coogan died on March 1, 1984, at the age of 69 from heart failure, remembered not only for his early stardom but also for reshaping protections for generations of child performers. Bill Quinn played the dispatcher in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 59 years old, portraying a practical, no-nonsense working man whose role represented the everyday infrastructure of the West. The dispatcher may have been a small character, but he reflected how ordinary figures like station agents and clerks played essential roles in keeping society moving, even while outlaws like Haig and Curry tried to navigate within or around them. Quinn's performance gave the character believability, showing the series' attention to detail and making the frontier world feel lived in. Beyond this, Bill Quinn built a long career as one of television's most reliable supporting actors. Beginning in the 1930s, he amassed over 200 screen credits, appearing in films like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, 1963, and later Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, 1989, where he played the blind man who delivers a memorable line to Captain Kirk. On television, he became well known for his recurring role as Mr. Van Rensselaer in Archie Bunker's Place, as well as appearances in The Odd Couple, The Brady Bunch, and The Rifleman. Off-screen, Quinn was married to Mary Catherine Roden and had 3 daughters, balancing family life with decades of steady work. Bill Quinn died on April 29, 1994, at the age of 81, remembered as a consummate professional who helped define the texture of classic television with his reliable presence. Geoffrey Lewis portrayed Al in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 36 years old, creating a grounded, rugged presence in the story. Al represented the kind of frontier character who was neither a pure villain nor a noble ally, but rather a man of the West with his own agenda, blending charm with hints of opportunism. Lewis brought his trademark authenticity to the role, showing how ordinary figures could complicate Haig and Curry's path toward amnesty. His quiet intensity ensured Al felt real, not just a background character. Beyond the show, Lewis went on to become one of the most recognizable character actors in Hollywood, building a career across film and television. He was a frequent collaborator with Clint Eastwood, appearing in High Plains Drifter, 1973, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, 1974, and Every Which Way But Loose, 1978. He also guest starred in classic TV series such as Bonanza, Barnaby Jones, Murder, She Wrote, and Hawaii Five-0. Known for his rugged looks and understated performances, he specialized in complex supporting characters who could be either menacing or warmly sympathetic. Off-screen, Geoffrey Lewis was the father of actress Juliette Lewis, with whom he shared a close artistic bond. Married several times, he had 9 children in total. He passed away on April 7, 2015, at the age of 79, from natural causes, leaving behind a career that spanned 5 decades and made him one of Hollywood's most respected supporting actors. Sid Haig appeared as Griffin in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 32 years old, playing a menacing outlaw whose imposing presence instantly set him apart. Griffin embodied the ruthless, opportunistic criminals who made the West such a dangerous place for Hayes and Curry as they struggled for redemption. Haig's tall stature, intense gaze, and commanding energy made Griffin feel threatening, a character who pushed the heroes into perilous confrontations. Even in guest spots, Haig stood out, foreshadowing the cult career that awaited him. Beyond this appearance, Sid Haig became a prolific actor across multiple genres. In the 1970s, he appeared in numerous blaxploitation films such as Foxy Brown, 1974, and Coffee, 1973, often cast as henchmen or villains. He also made guest appearances on shows like Batman, Star Trek, and Mission Impossible. Later, Haig reinvented himself as a horror icon, achieving cult fame as Captain Spaulding in Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, 2003, and The Devil's Rejects, 2005. Off-screen, Haig married Susan L. Oberg in 2007, who remained his partner until his death. Known for his kindness to fans and his sense of humor, Haig embraced his cult status late in life. He passed away on September 21, 2019 at the age of 80 from complications following a lung infection, leaving behind an enduring reputation as one of the most distinctive and beloved figures in cult cinema. John Kellogg played the dealer in Alias Smith and Jones, 1971, when he was 55 years old, portraying a supporting role that highlighted the everyday figures populating the Western frontier. As the dealer, Kellogg represented the gambling culture central to the era, providing atmosphere and authenticity to the saloon setting in which Hayes and Curry often found themselves. Though brief, his role fit neatly into Kellogg's long career of portraying tough working-class men. Outside the series, John Kellogg worked steadily in Hollywood for decades, appearing in films such as 12 O'Clock High, 1949, The Greatest Show on Earth, 1952, and Them, 1954. He also had guest roles in Perry Mason, Mission, Impossible, and Gunsmoke, building a reputation as a dependable supporting actor. Known for his rugged features and strong presence, he was often cast as soldiers, cowboys, or authority figures. Kellogg largely kept his personal life private, focusing on his craft rather than celebrity. He passed away on February 22, 2000, at the age of 83 from natural causes, leaving behind a solid legacy in film and television. Zzz. Who is your favorite character from Alias Smith and Jones? How do you feel knowing that some cast members are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated. We appreciate your support and are glad to have you as part of our community.